Hello everyone, this is Fabriello and welcome back. Today I decided to make a first impression video in order to share them with you regarding my latest acquisition for my DS collection, and I'm talking about Devil Survivor 2, a Shin Megami Tensei game. And the first thing that I want to mention about this, it is actually the fact that even though I consider myself a pretty hardcore gamer, since I've been playing video games for more than 20 years now, I actually never played a Shin Megami Tensei game. I mean, that may sound strange, but since they've been around since the 90s, but the fact is I never actually had the chance to play them. The first Persona game, for example, was released on the PlayStation 1, but not in Europe, of course. And why bother? And I remember but I actually remember that I knew about it, like reading on magazines, since back then I used to read a lot of video game magazines, not anymore, not at least as much as back then, but simply because nowadays I don't have next generation consoles, so I don't see the point of buying magazines, at least for the moment. On the other hand, back then I read a lot of video game magazines, especially for the PlayStation, and I remember reading an article about this Shin Megami Tensei Persona. What is this? And it's like reading about, oh, it's an RPG, you can summon demons, this Persona. Oh, this looks very interesting, very cool. By this Atlus. Very interesting. And then at the end of the article, it was like, oh, by the way, this game will not be released in Europe. Oh, fuck. Of course. So that's the reason why I never played the first one. I'm very curious about it. So we're probably going to buy the import copy sooner or later. The same for Persona 2. I mean, it's even divided into two parts, and the second part of the game was not released outside Japan, so even more obscure. And I don't, few people actually knows that it was divided into two parts, I think. But the game that really, I think, made the Persona series and then the Shin Megami Tensei series popular was Persona 3. And that is because it added elements like the school elements, kind of a sim element, and made that game very, very popular. And the problem is that the problem is not a problem, but the thing is that game was released only on the PS2, and obviously back then I didn't own a PS2. I'm like many guys, I was the one console at the time kind of guy. So back then I owned an Xbox, and of course, nothing of this kind was released on the Xbox. That would be interesting. Persona on the Xbox, or all the other games on the Shin Megami Tensei. I think it's full. That's Persona 4. It's called Lucifer's Call or others, and then it's another series. And the Shin Megami Tensei is huge. The Devil Survivors. There you go. And so that's the reason why I never played a Shin Megami Tensei game before, but I definitely want to buy Persona 3. At least starting with 3 and then probably 4. I mean, they look very, very interesting. But back to Devil Survivor. The fact is, this is not the first Shin Megami Tensei game that I was looking on the DS. I was looking and almost bought Strange Journey before Devil Survivor 2. And you may ask also why you start with number 2 instead of the first one. That's weird. I got my reason, and the main reason is, well, I don't know why, but Atlus games are expensive. So I had to wait a long time before buying both the Ride Historia, that I'm so glad to have that game in my collection. It's a beautiful game by Atlus. I highly, highly recommend that. That is one of the best games you can get on the DS by far. Definitely buy Ride Historia, but we're talking about Devil Survivor. And the same with Strange Journey. When I was looking at it, the price was okay. It was still a little pricey for a DS game, I think, but it was like around 25 to 30 pounds, so not cheap at all. But nowadays it's very expensive. At least it's like 60 to 70 pounds, so way too much for a DS game. Even though I'm very curious about it, but there was still something that I was not completely sure about it. Oh, Shin Megami Tensei game. Yeah, it's a like strategic RPG, first-person viewing combat. I mean, there's nothing wrong with these things. I mean, I played tons of first-person RPG games like Dragon Quest, for example, or strategic RPG. I'm nothing against them, of course. They're just not my favorite genre of RPGs. So I waited. So, well, I have to think about it. And then after just a week, the prices was double. So okay, no Strange Journey, sorry. Then I started to look at Devil Survivor, the first one and then the second one, but they were so expensive. And I waited again. Finally, like 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, including shipping and everything, I found Devil Survivor 2 for like, it was between 15 and 20 pounds, so it was a steal. The same with Running Historia. I waited years to buy that game. It was always more than 50 pounds, but finally managed to buy it. And so I buy this in a second. Oh, great, got it. And what was the thing that actually made me buy Devil Survivor instead of Strange Journey? Well, it's actually a simple thing. Well, I'm a simple mind kind of guy, what can I say? And it's basically the thing that attracted me the most uh, about the Devil Survivor games is the art style. The character design, I absolutely love it. It's made by um, Suzuhito Yasuda, a Japanese mangaka who also worked on Yozakura Quartet. I absolutely love his art style. And that was the thing that made me buy Devil Survivor instead of Strange Journey. I think it's a curious thing, but everything counts in these kind of things. It can be the music, can be the art, can be the story. There is always that little detail that sold you a game instead of another one. So now I absolutely want to play um, Strange Journey, but now it's very expensive. And the reason why I choose Devil Survivor 2 instead of 1, it was cheaper. Very simple again. I told you, I'm a simple mind guy. So, let's talk about my impressions. I've been playing this game for about a week now, and I can say that I absolutely love it. It's amazing. It's becoming very quickly one of my favorite games on the DS. At least I divided my DS game between originals and remakes, since the DS is full of great remakes. Nothing against remakes. And among the original games, this one, Radiant Historia, all the Atlus games are some of the best you can find on the DS. And not only because of the character design in this case, but also because it has a very interesting and creepy story. Nice characters, I liked them so far. Nice music, nice soundtrack, love it. So let's start with the story. This is very interesting and original. So, well, Atlus games always have very creepy and mature story compared to other video games. I mean, it's never about um, simple ideas or, well, simple, like normal kind of RPG like medieval, good against evil, um, save the princess. I mean, I'm just saying really basic stuff here, but the Atlus games are really weird, really creepy. Except for Radiant Historia, I think. It's the least creepy of the games that I know about the Atlus. Like, for example, Persona 3, I know that at the beginning, to activate the personas, you have to um, shoot yourself in the head. I mean, that's creepy enough, but with Devil Survivor 2, at the beginning of the game, you actually download an app called Nichea on your cell phone that allows you to watch people you know dying. I mean, that's very creepy. And even more creepy, I think, that the first person that you actually saw dying is yourself, being smashed and crushed by a train, subway. That marks the beginning of the story, since that train was like deviated, whatever, by the false earthquakes. And it's actually the beginning of the disaster that hit Japan and the rest of the world, apparently. And also, when you're about to die, the Nichea actually asks you if you want to leave. You obviously say yes, and then they add the capability to summon demons through your cell phone. I mean, that's very interesting. I love it. and then you start the game. So far, I managed to reach day 4, just at the beginning. So I think I'm halfway through the game, just for the number of days, since it's 7 days with 7 things you have to fight. They're not demons. I mean, the 7 stars of the Ursa Major. I mean, this is very interesting. There's so many interesting things in this game. So many weird things. I mean, let's talk about the demons, shall we? I mean, they're so cool and weird and awesome at the same time. There's so many of them. I'm surprised how many demons there are. And I absolutely love the the fact that you can actually fuse demons and to create more powerful demons, some weird one. I mean, it's amazing. I love that. I mean, there are so many things you can do in this game. At least with demons, you can fuse them, you can buy them. It's so interesting. I love it. There's so many of them. I absolutely love it. And and there are some of them are so weird and others are so cool. And I think I scratched the top of the iceberg that are the demons in this game, because I know there are so many. Just there are so many races of demons. So, and for each race there will be at least more than 10. So it's plenty of demons that you can choose, create, and just see in this game. That's a great feature of this. And I suppose that all the Shin Megami Tensei games are like this, since the summoning of demons is a main feature of all the games. And let's move on to the characters. Here you can see 3 of the main characters: the hero, your best friend, and the girl, Ionita. And on the back there are more of them. You can see there's Fumi, there's Keita, Irie, and Ronaldo, Joe, all the others. I mean, the character cast is quite interesting. I like them so far, but they go through some hard stuff. I mean, just yourself, you're the first person you actually see dying in a chair. That's creepy enough. Then, like, for example, like the Io had to watch her mother die, and then knew that her father died too. That's intense stuff in video game. You don't heard that so often. Um, so I like the character stuff, the stuff of characters so far. Very interesting characters. I know that something's gonna happen now after you met Ronaldo. He started to tell you, oh, Jibs is not the organization you think he is. Yamato is after something. I mean, started to plant the seed of discord among the characters. So we'll see what's gonna happen. I just told you I'm just at day 4, so not very far in the game. I'm very curious about how the story will go on, what happened to other characters, and I absolutely, as I told you, I absolutely love this game. And let's talk about the music. It has a really nice soundtrack. There's a nice opening. It's just like playing an anime, like this game, and like probably many other Shin Megami Tensei game. It's like the opening is just looking the beginning of an anime, the art style, like the anime. I mean, that's awesome. If you love animes and stuff, you're gonna love this. There you go. I absolutely love this game. So for now, these are my first impressions on the game. I still have a lot to do, I suppose. I'm not even at level 30 so far, so as I told you, I know I just scratched the top of this. And there are so many things I can do, so many things I want to do with my demons. I just want to fuse them as much as possible to create more weirder ones and stronger ones. And also, I want to mention that probably you know this, but just in case, there is actually an anime based on the Survivor 2. I started watching it right after I start playing this, but I'm going really slow because obviously I don't want to ruin the story. Just saw the first 3 episodes out of 13, so I'm probably gonna finish it, complete and finish it after I finish the game. So it will be not soon enough, but and it's not bad actually. The anime, it's a little different from the story. from the game, the story mainly. The characters are the same, obviously, but they changed some parts of the story. So after I watched the first 3 episodes, I know that they'll not have the best ending since one of the main characters already dead. So we'll see what's going to happen in the anime too, but it deserves to be mentioned because it's actually pretty good. I don't own the DVD. I don't think actually a DVD has been released yet in the West in general. I think there is in Japan, but not in Europe nor neither North America. So there you have it. These are my first impressions about Devil Survivor 2. A great game for the DS. I think so far one of the best games the DS has to offer. I can't wait to play Devil Survivor now. The first one, now that I played this one. Very curious about it. It will be similar, but also I read that they're nothing to do with each other. The story is completely different, so we'll see. And the new one on the 3DS, it's just a remake of the first one. I think they're going to make the remake also of the second one. So more Devil Survivors game. That's great. And as I say, a must-have, I believe, on any DS collection. A great RPG with both strategic and standard elements. A must-have for RPG fans, for anime fans. It's very anime style kind of game, and a great game. That's my first impressions for you. I can't wait to play more of this to advance in the game, and probably I will make another video about it to share more after I play more of this, so more impressions or final impressions when I finish the game. Definitely you're gonna see more of this since I really didn't expect it to be this good. I mean, I knew that a lot of people were talking very good about this. Say, oh well, it's probably good, but we'll see. Wow, this is amazing. If you never play this, just buy Devil Survivor 2, give it a try, you're gonna love it. You must play this game. The only problem is it could be expensive like all the other Atlus games, but if you're lucky like I was, you're gonna find it at a reasonable price, at least reasonable. So really guys, play this game. It's amazing. So these are my first impressions on Devil Survivor 2. Thanks for watching like always guys, and take care.